In the summer of 2026, 48 nations will play 104 matches over 39 days. 5 billion people will lock their eyes on stadiums in North America to watch the massive surface metrics of the game. But if you step past the arena and examine the ledger, a different reality appears. The host nation is a superpower currently managing a global retreat while dealing with deep structural economic decay at home. The leaders of the Roman Empire understood this problem. When citizens grew angry over failing infrastructure and financial rot, the rulers didn't fix the walls. They opened the circus and brought out the gladiators. Today, the Colosseum spans 3 time zones, and algorithms serve as the town criers. High-tech pipelines and media empires lock in mass attention by feeding the public a continuous, highly emotional loop. By capturing the collective attention of humanity, a fading global empire buys narrative immunity from its citizens. They control the emotional state of the masses, allowing them to operate in the shadows without immediate pushback. The public is fed a hyper-focused story about the last dance of global legends. You watch Lionel Messi operating at age 38, or Cristiano Ronaldo testing his physical limits one last time. While billions of eyes follow those players, heavy capital realignments flow through the global banking system. The unipolar control of the dollar tether begins to fray at the edges. People sit in viewing centers arguing over a referee's call in the 95th minute. In that exact moment, global market dependencies are quietly rewritten and international alliances shift in the dark. This 39-day window provides the camouflage needed to execute major policy changes and territorial shifts. These restructurings happen quietly, avoiding the scrutiny that would normally trigger a public response. The noise of the tournament drowns out the movement of the ledger. The spectacle provides the cover required to execute a massive global financial re-engineering. In the liquidity pump model, sports fans are high-value economic assets being harvested by the host nation. The tournament directs the funnel of global attention to determine where capital pools. Extraction begins with the attention funnel. By locking global focus on North American arenas, millions of emotional consumers pour hard sponsor capital directly into corporate endpoints, concentrating asset velocity. Then comes the adrenaline pump. Foreign networks pay staggering broadcast rights fees in hard currency. That cash floods central banks and domestic systems, triggering a sudden surge in the velocity of local transactions. This chart shows how the influx creates a GDP cushion. While the baseline economy suffers from structural decay, the tournament surge spikes the data upward, creating a temporary appearance of prosperity that insulates the population from inflation shocks. This massive dose of sports liquidity artificially stabilizes the host nation's economic baseline. It buys time, masking the internal financial rot that would otherwise lead to immediate instability. 104 matches generate an immense pool of excess capital reserves. Strategic thinkers are looking past the scoreboard to see where that liquidity actually flows. This capital creates a financial cushion for the kinetic outflow. These reserves flow directly into proxy funding and advanced weapon deployments across high-friction territories worldwide. When a superpower can no longer afford its military machine through normal taxation, global spectacles help balance the ledger. This influx allows for aggressive geopolitical moves abroad without immediately triggering hyperinflation at home. The world pays for the tickets, streams the content, and consumes the media. In doing so, global fans unknowingly finance the military mechanisms that keep the world in a state of perpetual friction. The 2026 World Cup generates a fully funded, insulated global military apparatus. The world watches the matches while the machine moves in the dark. To understand the weight of these global movements, we have to look at the micro-level reality in Lagos, Nigeria. When global powers shift their weight, the grass in Lagos gets crushed. Nigerian fans are watching from the couch because of deep administrative rot. Elite individual talents like Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman are left isolated because leadership failed to convert brilliance into a collective team. This failure causes a commercial paralysis across the city. The multi-million naira sponsor pipelines that usually flood West African media spaces during a tournament window are dead. In a normal year, the World Cup is a massive domestic commercial engine for Nigeria, filling betting shops and beer parlors with high-intensity cash. In 2026, that attention-driven economy is frozen. This is Lagos money left on the table. When local leadership compromises its own flag, the domestic economy is left exposed to the financial recalibrations happening abroad. This chart illustrates the risk ahead. Once the 39-day artificial high concludes, the host nation's baseline will face a severe structural contraction. You must stop reading global events with your emotions. To survive the coming market shifts, you have to read them with a cold, strategic eye and focus on the ledger. Aggressively protect your capital and position your local assets. The superpowers realignment will send dollar ripples through our markets, dictating the value of the naira and the cost of basic commodities. Cut off the energy vampires who demand you focus on the sporting entertainment. They are the spectators who will be caught flat-footed when the financial foundations are recalibrated from abroad. The world is a game of managed perception. Once you master the rules of how that perception is used to harvest your attention, you cease to be a character in their script and start writing your own.